all the way down to the south. While antagonizing the West, at home, President Ahmadinejad has traveled the country wooing the poor and the pious, handing out money, promising them a share in the nation's oil wealth. And as incumbent, he gets the full backing of the state, including the media. This is democracy Tehran style, as the people take to the public square. On opposite street corners, supporters of the fundamentalist President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad face off against those of his main rival, reformist Mir Hussein Mousavi. And the traffic runs through them. Boys and girls throw caution to the wind. In this country, this is daring. I asked these young people holding a sidewalk debate what makes this election different. This is like a revolution, says Pega. People are excited about rescuing our country from the calamity it's in. Even this Ahmadinejad supporter says the people are out in protest. Most of the people voting for Mousavi are doing it just to get rid of Ahmadinejad, she says. But the president still has staunch support, especially among the poor in the provinces, to whom he's doled out money, benefits and favors. Honestly, we've never seen anyone as courageous as Ahmadinejad, says this supporter. He's a true son of the revolution, adds another. On the president's side of the street, many are bussed in to counter the growing Mousavi crowds. Another day of street politics, another day of gridlock, before the country casts its vote. But something was stirring. A powerful undercurrent of dissatisfaction was coalescing around Mousavi, protesting Ahmadinejad's hardline fundamentalist policies. 2 days before the polls open, this election is turning out to be a referendum on the president's 4 years in office, which have seen higher prices and less freedoms. 30 years of frustration is exploding, says Mohammed, a mechanical engineering student. Even if Ahmadinejad wins, we're just here to express our opposition. Observing from his perch at the Carnegie Endowment in Washington, D.C., Karim Sajapur believes that Mousavi is an almost accidental leader of this renewed reform movement.
Mousavi's strategists did a brilliant job of transforming this fairly uncharismatic, soft-spoken, 67-year-old guy with impeccable revolutionary credentials into the voice of a new Iran, into the voice of reform.
As night fell, the rains also started to come down, and yet people still came to this square. People here who are old enough to remember and to have marched in the Islamic Revolution 30 years ago say this is the biggest turnout they've seen since then.
Earlier in the day, President Ahmadinejad brought out a large crowd at his rally and told them he was convinced he would win Friday. Cars honking, flags waving, President Ahmadinejad's supporters, as well as Mousavi's, jammed the streets for one last night of official rallies and campaigns. With the same happening in major cities across Iran, many are saying this is an early indication of what's expected to be a record turnout at the polls on Friday. For the first time ever in Iran, a candidate has campaigned with his wife, and Rahnavard has drawn huge crowds to her husband's rallies, especially women. I'm here to say that men and women are equal, she tells us. More women than men have voted in the past few elections, and Rahnavard promises them it will count this time if Mousavi wins. We've made this promise to the women and we'll stand by it, she says. Women remain legal second-class citizens in criminal, divorce, child custody and inheritance cases, despite making up 65% of university students. Ahmadinejad's fundamentalist government has even tried to make polygamy easier for men and public sector careers harder for women. No cheating, they chant, as they prepare for the polls to open. President Ahmadinejad has powerful support after courting his constituency with cash and favors over the last 4 years. But the scale of his victory surprised so many, and so did his opponent's reaction. We'll be back with more after a break.